my name is Anna, and today I want to talk about something really simple. You can make these for yourself or for your friends or other people in your life. But today I want to talk about crocheting your own face wipes. So I use these face wipes just to wipe off my face. I don't wear makeup, so I don't use them for taking off makeup. But I think that you could if you used a color that you don't like, a yarn color that you don't mind discoloration on. I just use white yarn. You can use whatever color yarn you want, and these are so simple and easy and quick to put together that if you ruin them or they unravel or come apart, you can really just whip them up super easy. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy. I'm going to try and explain this as clearly as possible for people that may not know how to crochet. This is the first thing I learned how to crochet. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily the easiest thing, but this is the first thing I ever crocheted. So hopefully I can be helpful for you.
Okay, so here I have a crochet hook, and it is 4.25 millimeters. So again, 4.25 millimeters. Again, the crochet hook size does not matter, and it also does not matter the type of yarn that you use. It's completely up to you what color that you want. I just have white here. First thing that we're going to do is lay the yarn in our hand. So the tail of the yarn is in our hand on the flat of our palm, and we're going to wrap the yarn around our fingers once. Not very tightly, we just want one loop around. We're going to stick our crochet hook into our hoop. So 2 pieces of yarn should be laying over the crochet hook, the beginning of the loop, and then where the loop crossed back over your fingers, there should be 2 ends of the yarn there, and we're going to put those 2 yarn strands over our crochet hook. The yarn that's coming off of the circle, we're going to wrap it around our hook, the end of our hook, once, and pull the yarn through the circle. So let's try that again. We have our hoop on our hand, so the loop where we laid the yarn flat on the flat palm of our hand, and then went around once. There should be 2 pieces of yarn which we're going to stick our crochet hook through, and then wrapping some yarn around the end of our crochet hook, we're going to pull that yarn through the 2 strands. So we're going to wrap some yarn around the end of our crochet hook and pull it through the 1 yarn loop that we just created. This is going to be the pattern that we're going to continue. We're going to stick our crochet hook into the hoop of 2 yarn pieces, wrap 1 piece of yarn around the end of our crochet hook, bring it through the first loop, and then wrap another piece of yarn around the end of our crochet hook and bring it through both of the loops that are on our crochet hook. Right now we should only be left with 1 loop on the crochet hook. We're going to continue this pattern, putting the crochet hook through the original circle, putting yarn on the end of our crochet hook, pulling it through the original circle, putting yarn on the end of our crochet hook and pulling it through the 2 loops. So it's kind of like going 1 loop, 2 loop, 1 loop, 2 loop. We're going to do this process a few times until we have kind of an even number. I think I went with 6 here, and we want an even number of stitches. This will be the center of our circle, the center of our face wipes. after we have the amount of stitches that we want, the beginning of the loop that we had laying in the palm of our hand, we're going to pull that loop closed. So we're actually going to close the loop that we've been going in and out of, and that will create the center of our face wipes. It's also called the magic circle. So if you want to look at a GIF or watch another representation of this, you can research the magic circle. There are multiple ways to do this. This is just the way that I learned. We are going to do another pattern, and we're going to continue this pattern for the rest of the face wipe. If you can notice on your small circle that you have now, there are stitches on the outer rim of your face wipe. They kind of look like a little heart, or if you knit, it kind of looks like the knit stitch on knitting or seam. So again, we're going to be picking up 2 of these stitches here. We want the whole stitch. So we're going to have 2 pieces of yarn on the end of our crochet hook. We're going to wrap the yarn on the end of our hook and pull through the 2 pieces of yarn for the end seam. And then you should be left with 2 loops on your crochet hook still. We will then pull the yarn, wrap the yarn around the end of our crochet hook and pull the yarn through both of those stitches. So we're kind of doing a similar process that we had done previously with the open circle. 1 loop, 2 loop. So we're sticking our crochet hook through the loop on the end seam, wrapping our yarn around the end of our crochet hook and pulling it through that first seam, which is 2 pieces of yarn, and then wrapping more yarn around the end of our crochet hook and pulling it through both of the loops that are on our crochet hook. You should be left with 1 loop on your crochet hook, and the pattern is 1 loop, 2 loop. We're going to continue this for the rest of the face wipe, and the size of the circle that you're making is completely up to you. You can make very large circles. If you like larger face wipes, you can make smaller circles that fit in the palm of your hand. I chose to go with a circle that fits in the palm of my hand. When you've gotten the face wipe to the size that you want, we're just going to cut off the rest of that yarn. So I've made a larger loop here by pulling my crochet needle to give my loop some slack, and I'm going to cut off that extra yarn string. I'm then going to pull that string through the loop that was on my crochet hook to make a knot ending my crochet process. To get a tapestry needle. These are called tapestry needles, but they're also called knitting needles or finishing needles. They allow you to tuck in the tails on your project. I'm going to grab the smaller sized needle . Starting on the edge tail, I'm going to put the fabric through the eye of the needle and make a small little knot that I can untie. Then I'm going to start by stitching the tail into my face wipe. The first stitch I'm going to do is to round out the edge of where I finished my face wipe. So I'll stick the needle through the top right stitch just next to where I finished crocheting, just to give it a seamless edge and it doesn't seem so jagged there. On the underside of my face wipe, or the bumpy side, I'm going to start sliding my needle through the loops on the bottom of the face wipe. I'm going in a zigzag pattern initially, going towards the middle of the face wipe and then going back to the outer edge, stitching the tail of the yarn through my project. When I get to the outer edge again, I'm going to lift up the yarn from the previous stitch and create a knot here. I'm not done securing the tail into my work. I just want to create a secondary knot in case my tail unravels from my work. It will not immediately fall apart. After making the knot, I'm going to stitch the tail of my yarn along the outer rim of my face wipe. This is not for an aesthetic reason, I just don't want my first and second stitches to be in the same place. Stitching the tail as much as I feel comfortable, I'm going to pull the yarn off of my needle and make a knot. After I've made a knot, I will make a second knot and then cut the excess of the tail off behind the knot, so leaving the knot on the finished product. I'm going to repeat this same process with the tail in the center of the project. I'm going to put it on my tapestry needle and hide the tail of the project through the bottom side of my face wipe. You can choose any pattern or any way of hiding the tail, and as you practice and do this more often, you'll find what methods work for you or feel comfortable for hiding your tails. After I've finished on the second tail in the center of the project, I will double knot it again and cut off the excess of the tail, leaving the knot on the piece. There you go, a finished face wipe. Here's some bonus content. I'm going to show you how I make the solution that I use on my face wipes. This is completely customizable to you, and I'm doing more of a toner, so I'm going to use witch hazel. If you would like another toner option, there's also apple cider vinegar, although I don't prefer the way vinegar smells. So I'm going to pour about 25% or 1/4 part of witch hazel into my 2-ounce bottle here. And then I'm going to fill the rest of the way up with distilled water. This is another place where you can be creative and use rose water or any other soft hydrosol that you enjoy. I'm going to use some essential oils. I'm using oregano because it's good for skin. I also enjoy grapefruit because it smells so nice and is skin brightening or tone evening. You can also use something where you enjoy the scent, so lavender or geranium if you enjoy those scents. Anything that you like, this is completely customizable to you. I have this cute little jar that I keep my face wipes in. going to shake up the solution I just made and pour it right over my face wipes. I'm starting at the top, but I will also saturate my face wipes by lifting them up and pouring some in the middle so that all of my face wipes get covered in the solution. Lastly, I want to show you how to take care of your face wipes in terms of cleaning them. I do not recommend machine washing these. I hand wash them after each time that I use them. It's just as simple as washing your hands. So using my handmade soap, I'm lathering the soap up in my hand and then grabbing my face wipe and scrubbing the face wipe with the palms of my soapy hands. After scrubbing both sides, I'm rinsing it clean, and I will wash it again a second time just to make sure. After washing my face wipe, I like to squeeze the face wipe between the palms of my hands underneath the running water to make sure that there's no remaining soap in the face wipe fibers, as well as squeezing out the moisture. So I squelch the face wipe underneath the water to remove the soap, and then also squeeze the face wipe outside of the water stream to remove excess moisture. To let my face wipe dry, I let it sit in a windowsill, and I will also flip it so that way it's sitting in the sun and drying evenly on both sides.
Alrighty, so I hope you liked that simple crochet project. Like I said, you can whip these up super quick, super easy. I think I made 12 in the course of like an hour, and that was not with hiding the seam or hiding the long tail of yarn. That was just like crocheting continuously and then cutting it and then letting it go. Actually, I hate having to hide the yarn or hide the seam or whatever you want to call it. I just feel like that's so tedious of a process, or just like, I don't know why I never want to start to do that, but once the seam is hidden, it doesn't really even take that long. So I don't know why it bothers me so much to like have to hide the tail of the yarn or the tail of the project. There are like plastic needles, like I said. I just purchased the little packet of metal needles on Amazon, and they were super cheap to get all of those needles. So, and they have ranging sizes, so that was really great. Yeah, so I hope you try out this project and have some fun with that. I just want to say, let it all go. Let go of expectations you have for yourself, let go of expectations you have for others, let go of the expectations you have for your life. That doesn't mean that you don't have goals or aspirations. Just let go of your expectations of how you're going to get there or how people are supposed to behave, how events are supposed to play out. Ultimately, you have no control. Like, there is literally no control in this life. The only thing you can control is yourself and the way that you're going to react to a situation, but you also don't have control over the situations that you find yourself in. So that's not any fault of you, that's not any fault of like the world. It's literally just the way things are. And I don't want you to feel like you have to cling to this idea or feel upset with the way that things are going or not going or working out or not working out. Just let it all go. You'll have a happier life or a more joyful experience when you're not trying to control every aspect of the way that things happen. Put your desires, put your thoughts, put them out there. Pray if that's important to you, put them out in the universe. Get them outside of yourself, write them down on a piece of paper or in a online journal or online notes. Get your ideas and your thoughts outside of yourself and then just let them go. Like, you've already said what you want to say, let those processes go and allow yourself to just live. Live your life, be free in each moment. I love you.